about the middle, like 1850s, natural gas was discovered in Indiana, and an absolutely incredible thing began to happen to the small village of Anderson. The Chamber of Commerce got together and said, we have gas wells all around this town, and we've got to find a way to use the resources that are in the ground to make this city grow. And so they invested a little money in an advertising campaign that ran across the country, particularly on the East Coast, in which they said to people who were in the manufacturing business, if you will locate in Anderson, Indiana, what we will do for you is to give you free power. Well, a lot of people that were manufacturing began to take a look at how much the power was costing them, and a lot of plants, a lot of industry moved to Anderson just overnight, and it became a boom city. The second part of the story has to do with the fact that the gas finally began to give out because it was so recklessly used. All the lights in the city of Anderson were lit by natural gas. The Chamber of Commerce even brought a pipe into the middle of White River underneath the water and lit it, so at night when the railroad train, when the passenger cars came through, they would see this great Vesuvius coming up out of the middle of White River, down where the old 8th Street Bridge used to be. And when the natural gas began to give out, the factories disappeared. And all of a sudden, land values in Anderson, Indiana began to go down and down and down. The third thing that was happening had to do with the Church of God community, which was then located down in Moundsville, West Virginia. In Moundsville, West Virginia, where the Church of God had located and where our publishing work was located, was having big problems with the city because the city simply would not run electrical power out to run the presses. And so at that time, they were ready to move out of Moundsville, West Virginia, and they started to look for some place where there was good rail transportation and a place where they would feel more comfortable. And so 100 years ago, Enoch and Noah Byram, with two of their comrades from the Gospel Trumpet Company, made a trip out here to Anderson, Indiana, because they heard that in Anderson, land values were very, very low. And so they came out on a traction car, tracks, of course, being over here to my north, got off at this corner and walked into this general area, and about where that stone lies, they entered a tract of land, 40 acres, that was for sale. They had heard about it. They heard it was a beautifully wooded place. It was a good place to locate themselves and build their future here. And so in 1905, after a survey of this 40 acres, its beauty, its lovely ravine, they came back to this point where they had entered, and before getting on the car to go back to Moundsville, they knelt on the ground near this place and dedicated this whole 40 acres, even though they did not own it. They dedicated it to God. They didn't have a clue about how this land would be developed or how it would be used. They didn't have an idea Someday it would be a gathering place which would bring people from all over the world here. They had no idea that a great university would be built on these grounds. So I think it is a holy place because even though they did not understand the future, they made good decisions. And out of those good decisions, God prospered their work.